And thank you for joining us. Busy day in the news of politics, at least. An investigation into the Trump campaign and its ties to Russia has dished out its first round of indictments. The U.S. president's former campaign manager and an advisor have been charged on 12 counts. This afternoon, they pleaded not guilty. Another aide has admitted he lied to the FBI. The CBC's Ellen Mauro is in Washington for us with more on this developing story, and it is still developing. I'm sure it's the talk of D.C., Ellen. So Paul Manafort and Rick Gates appeared in court this afternoon. Bring us up to speed on what happened.
Well, as you said, Rob, this is a very dramatic day here in Washington, D.C., seeing these two men surrendering, particularly Paul Manafort, who was a prominent figure in the Trump campaign. And they are facing a slew of some very serious charges, including conspiracy against the United States. Now, important to point out, these charges do not relate to their activities specifically regarding the 2016 election campaign. They have to do with lobbying these men were doing on behalf of the former president of Ukraine, Viktor Yanukovych. But the fact that these charges do not relate directly to the campaign shows the wide berth that special counsel Robert Mueller has. Because Manafort was affiliated with the campaign, his finances have more or less become fair game. But as you said, these men have pleaded not guilty, and we did hear today from Manafort's lawyer. Here's what he had to say.
Today, you see an indictment brought by an office of special counsel that is using a very novel theory to prosecute Mr. Manafort regarding a FARA filing. The United States government has only used that offense 6 times since 1966 and only resulted in 1 conviction. The second thing about this indictment that I myself find most ridiculous is a claim that maintaining offshore accounts to bring all your funds into the United States as a scheme to conceal from the United States government is ridiculous.
Now, Rob, you also mentioned a third aide. That's a man named George Papadopoulos. He served as a foreign policy advisor for the Trump campaign, and he has pleaded guilty, we learned today, to lying to FBI agents about contacts he had with Russian contacts, associates, while he was working for the Trump campaign. So that is more directly related to the campaign than those charges against Manafort and Gates.
And Ellen, what are President Trump and the White House saying about all of this?
What we're seeing from the White House is an effort to distance and deflect. Now, in terms of deflection, the White House is emphasizing that these charges against Manafort and Gates do not involve the Trump election campaign. That is a message that they're really hammering down on. And in terms of distancing, they're really trying to downplay the role that George Papadopoulos had in the campaign, saying that he was a volunteer. That's what Sarah Huckabee Sanders, the White House press secretary, said, and saying that any outreach he was doing to the Russians, he was doing of his own accord. So again, an effort to distance and deflect. And here's a little bit more of what we heard from Sarah Huckabee Sanders just a short time ago.
We've been saying from day one there's been no evidence of Trump-Russia collusion, and nothing in the indictment today changes that at all.
It is specifically about the campaign.
It has nothing to do with the activities of the campaign. It has to do with his failure to tell the truth. That doesn't have anything to do with the campaign or the campaign's activities.
Now, but deflect and try to distance as much as Sarah Huckabee Sanders did today, the questions surrounding the Russia probe, Rob, are only growing with today's developments.
No question about it. Thanks, Ellen. That's the CBC's Ellen Mauro in Washington for us.